In Hampton Court Palace, the spectral figure of Catherine Howard, King Henry VIII's fifth wife, is said to roam. Known as the White Lady, her mournful cries echo through the palace halls. Is this truly the spirit of a wronged queen, or is there a more earthly explanation? Science urges us to approach such claims with skepticism. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Can we subject these ghostly encounters to the same scrutiny we apply to the laws of physics? Ghost stories share common threads: cold spots, unexplained noises, and fleeting apparitions. These experiences often have rational explanations like drafts and echoes. The human mind can easily transform shadows into menacing figures. Harry Houdini dedicated his life to exposing fraudulent mediums. He knew how easily the human mind could be tricked. His legacy reminds us that skepticism is essential for understanding the world. Cold spots are often attributed to ghostly presences, but can be explained by drafts. Old buildings with poor insulation create pockets of cold air. Psychological factors also influence our perception of temperature. Apparitions are often tricks of the light or figments of our imagination. Pareidolia makes us see faces and figures in randomness. Low light conditions make it easier to misinterpret shapes and movements. Nighttime sounds can take on a sinister quality. Auditory pareidolia can lead us to hear words in random noises. The acoustics of old buildings can create eerie echoes. Cold spots are often attributed to spirits, but can be explained by drafts. Our perception of temperature is subjective and influenced by psychological factors. Expectation and suggestion play powerful roles in our sensory experiences. Our brains can be tricked by optical illusions and shadows. Pareidolia makes us see faces and figures in random stimuli. Low light conditions compound the potential for misinterpretation. Unexplained noises often have mundane explanations rooted in physics. Infrasound can evoke feelings of unease and even hallucinations. The acoustics of old buildings can amplify and distort sounds. EMF meters detect electromagnetic fields, not spirits. Fluctuations in EMF readings can be caused by everyday electrical sources. The Earth's magnetic field can also influence EMF readings. EMF meters are often misinterpreted as spirit detectors. Electromagnetic fields are pervasive in our modern world. Emotional states can trigger spikes in EMF readings. Thermal cameras detect heat, not spirits. Temperature variations are governed by the laws of thermodynamics. Drafts and heat sources explain most anomalies captured by thermal cameras. EVP, or electronic voice phenomena, recordings are often presented as evidence of ghostly communication. These recordings, often whispers and murmurs, are scrutinized for meaningful messages. Pareidolia, our tendency to perceive patterns, plays a significant role in EVP interpretation. Our brains can transform white noise into whispered words, especially when primed to believe. Radio frequency interference can also manifest as strange sounds on recordings. Dowsing rods, simple L-shaped rods typically made of metal or wood, have been used for centuries to locate underground water sources, buried treasure, and even lost objects. Ghost hunters claim dowsing rods can detect spirits, their movements influenced by unseen energies. However, dowsing remains pseudoscience. The ideomotor effect, where subconscious muscle movements influence the rods, is the most likely explanation. Controlled experiments fail to show dowsing's effectiveness beyond chance. Dowsing's movements are guided by the subconscious mind, influenced by psychological factors. Despite the lack of evidence, practitioners rely on personal experiences. Dowsing remains an unsubstantiated claim, driven by self-deception and suggestion. Ghost hunting often falls prey to the illusion of evidence. The desire to believe can lead investigators to interpret ambiguous data and equipment malfunctions as irrefutable evidence. Confirmation bias plays a significant role in shaping how ghost hunters perceive their findings. A creaking floorboard becomes a ghostly footstep, a cold draft transforms into a spirit's chill, and a random word on an EVP recording becomes a message from beyond the grave. The placebo effect can also contribute to the illusion of evidence. If we believe a location is haunted, we're more likely to interpret any unusual sensation as paranormal activity. The human mind is remarkably susceptible to suggestion. What we believe, what we expect to perceive, can profoundly influence our sensory experiences. Ghost stories whispered around campfires and passed down through generations plant seeds of suggestion that can blossom into full-blown paranormal beliefs. When we enter a supposedly haunted location, armed with tales of spectral encounters and ghostly apparitions, our brains are primed to interpret any unusual sight, sound, or sensation as evidence of the supernatural. A creaking floorboard becomes a ghostly footstep, a cold draft transforms into a spirit's chill, and a fleeting shadow in our peripheral vision morphs into a menacing figure. The power of suggestion can be amplified in groups, where shared beliefs and expectations create a feedback loop of paranormal reinforcement. One person's claim of seeing a ghost can trigger a cascade of similar reports from others in the group, each individual's perception influenced by the perceived experiences of those around them. Even seemingly objective tools like EMF meters and thermal cameras can be influenced by the power of suggestion. A ghost hunter, convinced that a particular location is haunted, might interpret even minor fluctuations in readings as evidence of paranormal activity, their perception colored by their pre-existing beliefs. Our brains, constantly bombarded with sensory information, rely on cognitive shortcuts or heuristics to process information efficiently and make sense of the world. While these mental shortcuts are generally useful, they can also lead to cognitive biases, systematic errors in thinking that can distort our perceptions and judgments. Confirmation bias, one of the most pervasive cognitive biases, is the tendency to favor information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs while discounting evidence that contradicts them. Ghost hunters, often motivated by a desire to find proof of the paranormal, might selectively focus on evidence that supports their beliefs, while downplaying or dismissing evidence that suggests otherwise. The availability heuristic, another cognitive bias, leads us to overestimate the likelihood of events that are easily recalled or vivid in our memories. Ghost stories, often dramatic and emotionally charged, can leave a lasting impression on our minds, making us more likely to believe in the paranormal, even if our rational minds tell us otherwise. Pattern recognition, while essential for survival, can also lead us astray when it comes to paranormal beliefs. Pareidolia, the tendency to perceive meaningful patterns in random or vague stimuli, can cause us to see faces in clouds, hear voices in white noise, and even interpret shadows as ghostly apparitions. Sleep paralysis, a terrifying but relatively common sleep disorder, can produce experiences easily mistaken for paranormal encounters. During sleep paralysis, the individual is aware of their surroundings but unable to move or speak, caught in a terrifying limbo between sleep and wakefulness. This state of paralysis is often accompanied by hallucinations, both visual and auditory, that can range from unsettling to downright terrifying. People experiencing sleep paralysis might see shadowy figures lurking in their room, feel a crushing pressure on their chest, or hear voices whispering menacingly in their ears. These hallucinations, while vivid and realistic, are simply a byproduct of the sleep-wake cycle gone awry. During REM sleep, the stage of sleep associated with vivid dreaming, our bodies are essentially paralyzed to prevent us from acting out our dreams. Sleep paralysis occurs when our brains wake up from REM sleep before our bodies have a chance to regain full mobility. While sleep paralysis is a well-documented medical phenomenon, those unfamiliar with the condition might easily interpret these episodes as paranormal encounters, especially if they occur in a supposedly haunted location or after exposure to ghost stories or other suggestive material. Hallucinations, sensory experiences that occur in the absence of any external stimuli, can manifest in any sensory modality, from seeing things that aren't there to hearing voices, smelling phantom odors, or feeling phantom touches. While often associated with mental illness, hallucinations can also be triggered by stress, sleep deprivation, drug use, and even certain medical conditions. The human brain, remarkably adept at constructing our perception of reality, can sometimes create its own sensory experiences, especially when under duress or deprived of essential sensory input. Sensory deprivation experiments, for example, have shown that prolonged isolation and lack of sensory stimulation can trigger vivid hallucinations in otherwise healthy individuals. Ghost sightings, particularly those reported in dimly lit or unfamiliar environments, might be attributed in some cases to hallucinations triggered by a combination of anxiety, suggestion, and the brain's tendency to fill in the gaps in our sensory perception. Our brains, seeking to make sense of ambiguous sensory data, might conjure up ghostly figures from shadows, reflections, or even our own imaginations. While not all ghost sightings can be dismissed as hallucinations, it's important to consider the role that our own brains can play in shaping our perceptions and experiences, especially in situations where stress, fear, or expectation might be influencing our senses. The belief in ghosts, spirits, and the afterlife is a persistent thread woven through human history and cultures around the world. Why do we, despite the lack of concrete evidence and the often contradictory nature of paranormal claims, cling to the notion that something of ourselves might transcend the boundaries of life and death? The fear of our own mortality, the inevitability of death, is a powerful motivator. The belief in an afterlife, a realm beyond the grave where we might reunite with loved ones or continue our existence in some ethereal form, offers comfort and solace in the face of our inevitable demise. Ghost stories, often rooted in local history and folklore, provide a sense of continuity with the past, connecting us to the lives and experiences of those who came before us. They remind us that we are part of a larger narrative, a tapestry of human experience that extends beyond our own fleeting lifespans. The desire for meaning and purpose in a seemingly random and often cruel world also contributes to the allure of the paranormal. The belief that we might be able to communicate with the dead, to seek guidance or reassurance from beyond the veil, offers a sense of hope and agency in the face of life's uncertainties. Human history is a tapestry woven with threads of both the tangible and the intangible. Ghosts, those ethereal echoes of lives past, inhabit the intersection of belief, fear, and our longing for connection. Our fascination with ghosts reflects our own mortality and the enduring power of memory. They offer a glimpse into a realm beyond our grasp, reminding us of life's fragility. The idea of encountering spirits of loved ones offers comfort and solace in grief. The belief in ghosts and spirits spans cultures and time periods. From ancient civilizations to modern societies, stories of spectral beings and supernatural encounters abound. These tales, deeply embedded in local folklore, reveal how humans grapple with life and death. In Japan, Eerie, restless spirits in white kimonos haunt locations seeking resolution. African cultures venerate ancestors for guidance and protection. Mexico's Day of the Dead honors deceased loved ones with offerings and celebrations. The human desire for life after death, for some form of existence beyond the confines of our physical bodies, is a recurring theme throughout history and across cultures. The belief in an afterlife, a realm where we might reunite with loved ones, continue our personal journeys, or find solace from the trials of earthly existence, offers comfort, hope, and a sense of meaning in the face of our inevitable mortality. Religions around the world offer various interpretations of the afterlife, from heavenly realms of eternal bliss to cycles of reincarnation and rebirth. These beliefs, often codified in scriptures and traditions, provide a framework for understanding death, offering solace to the grieving and guidance for navigating the complexities of life and loss. Even in secular societies where traditional religious beliefs might be waning, the idea of consciousness persisting beyond physical death continues to resonate. Near-death experiences, often described as profound and transformative, fuel speculation about the nature of consciousness and the possibility of life beyond the body. The desire for an afterlife, whether driven by religious faith, cultural conditioning, or a deep-seated human longing for continuity and transcendence, speaks to our innate desire to find meaning and purpose in a seemingly random and often unforgiving universe. Section 4. Between Belief and Reason, a delicate dance. The question of ghosts and the afterlife sits at the intersection of belief and reason. Science demands evidence, but human experience is shaped by intuition and belief. The scientific method has yet to provide conclusive evidence for ghosts or an afterlife. Paranormal investigations struggle with subjectivity and uncontrolled variables. The absence of proof doesn't negate the impact of belief on individuals and cultures. Ghost stories shape our understanding and provide a framework for the unknown. Ultimately, belief in ghosts is a personal choice. The universe of possibilities. The universe holds countless mysteries, phenomena that challenge our understanding. While the existence of ghosts remains unproven, the pursuit reveals the human mind's capacity to question and imagine. Science expands our understanding of the cosmos. What was once magic often finds rational explanations, yet vast realms of the unknown remain. Dark matter, dark energy, and consciousness continue to baffle scientists. The universe is far stranger and more wondrous than we can comprehend. Section 2. The limits of our senses. Our senses, those windows to the world, can be both our greatest allies and our most deceptive foes. We rely on our senses to navigate and interpret the world, yet they are prone to errors, illusions, and the influence of our beliefs. Optical illusions and auditory pareidolia show how easily our brains can be tricked. A shadow can morph into a menacing figure in dim light. White noise can transform into whispered voices when we're primed to hear them. Our brains strive to create a coherent narrative, often filling gaps with assumptions. This tendency to find patterns can lead us astray. Understanding the paranormal highlights the importance of critical thinking. We must be mindful of our senses' limitations and our own biases. Section 3. The quest continues. The debate over the existence of ghosts is unlikely to be settled anytime soon. While science continues to search for verifiable evidence and plausible explanations for paranormal phenomena, the allure of the unknown, the enduring power of belief, and the human desire for connection beyond the veil will undoubtedly keep the question alive. Perhaps the true value of exploring the realm of ghosts lies not in finding definitive answers, but in the journey itself. The pursuit of this enigma encourages us to question our assumptions, confront our fears, and contemplate the mysteries of life, death, and the nature of consciousness. Whether we approach the paranormal with skepticism or an open mind, the exploration of this enigmatic territory reminds us of the vastness of the unknown, the limits of our current understanding, and the boundless capacity of the human mind to wonder, imagine, and explore the boundaries of what we believe to be true. The quest continues, inviting us to engage with the mysteries of the universe and the enduring enigma of ghosts.